So you finally show yourself, anarchist scum. It's one thing to bite the hand of your feral masters, but this... Your spree of destruction ends now.
Thank you for tuning in. This is DJ Fobfresh from SEGASHIRO.com, the Sega resource, and today we're bringing you a video review of Sands of Destruction. Developed by Image Epoch, this team included key members who worked on titles such as Xenogears and Grandia. So there's a lot of 32-bit heritage in this title, and it really shines through into the game. Before I get any further, one thing I have to say is that the score and musical soundtrack to this game is brilliant. It's lavish and thick and wonderful, and normally I don't talk a lot about the music in the game, but in this one it really stands out. I was often surprised that this music was coming out of my DS speakers. As an RPG, Sands of Destruction has a lot of high points and a lot of low points. One thing that I really liked, and other gamers will hate this, was the actual choice to use random battles. It kind of made it feel like a 32-bit RPG, kind of made it feel classic, and between that and the sprite-based designs for the characters, it really kind of gave this sense of nostalgia, even though it was a brand new title with a brand new story. One problem might occur in between the balance between the dungeons and the random battles. This is where I had some issues. So while the dungeons are well crafted and interestingly designed, they're also puzzles. So basically, as you go through a level or a dungeon, you need to figure out how to solve the puzzle before you can get to the next story arc or to the next boss fight. However, I often found the instructions on how to navigate through these dungeons to be non-existent or just tedious. And so what ended up happening was I would get lost, and I'd end up getting into 1,000 random battles, leveling up my characters to ridiculously high levels, and then once I actually got my way to the boss, I was so overpowered that every boss was a pushover, which is terrible considering that the boss fights were a lot of fun in this game. Furthermore, because I was so over-leveled, I never had to use the smithy either, which was a whole item and weapon customization option that you could get into in this game. So I mean, while the feature was there, I never specifically needed to use it. Speaking of the boss fights, the battle system is interesting as well. So it's technically menu-driven. If you use an item, your turn is over. It's based around battle points, and you can do as many actions as you can within those battle points. Now, the one issue with this game is that you can actually level up your characters and certain attacks. However, the only thing you need to level up is the flurry attacks. These are the chained attacks that you can see my characters doing on screen. I at first tried to do different variations with different characters. So with Morte, I tried to make her a magic user. However, she just became super weak and was essentially useless. With every character, you basically got to pump in CP points into the flurry attacks, and then it'll make the combat a lot smoother. So if you look to the screens above, you can see that I'm actually customizing one of the main characters, which is Toppy, and he is single-handedly the best character I have played in an RPG in recent memory, for being a badass teddy bear and being wicked to boot. Once he got on my team, he never left. So while the customization option seemed rather linear because you had to pump in points to the flurry attacks, by the end of the game it did create characters that were really well balanced. So regardless of the team you had set up, you had someone that could do what you needed them to do. Because the voice acting was pretty solid, this is why I enjoyed the quip system. So the random things that your characters yell out during battles actually have effects, such as boosting morale or upping defense, and this added to the game's dynamic. All of the perfect characters and bosses all have great voice acting. Probably the weakest two of the bunch are the two main characters, being Kyrie and Morte. I just found them a little more annoying than all the other characters. Most of the other characters sounded rather regal, or they had great character voices. Furthermore, you can also equip characters with hearted accessories which boost status effects. In some ways, the development team tried to take the story elements of this game out of the realm of JRPGs, and while they almost get there, they often fall short. The main character, Kyrie, is literally the key to the destruction of the entire world. In the opening moments of the game, you actually blow up your hometown, and from that point, it almost feels different because you're a part of the World Annihilation Front, a group of of ragtag adventurers who are trying to destroy the world instead of save it. However, over the course of the game, you quickly realize that destroying this world is probably the best thing for it, as it's run by ferals, and humans are a subservient class. This is a hard game to give a straight recommendation to. The dungeon design combined with the battle system will create its own fans and detractors. The character development and the designs are fantastic, and yet the story falls prey to cliché. So in the end, I was happy that I beat it, but this one's only for RPG hardcore.